Ciao a tutti, hi everyone. Welcome to ML Modena Meetup. Okay, I have Gabriele here. He was disappearing for a bit. Gabriele, Giselle, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Gabriele, are you back?
Of course, I'm here.
Okay, everything to you then.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Here today we have Gisele Gurgel from Tetra Pak Business Insights and Analytics. And Gisele would be so kind to show us, a different face of the medal that we have discussed so far. It's about how marketing is exploiting machine learning to gain value out of these new techniques. And you will see that Gisele will very much specify and talk that this is eventually a teamwork. So the key point is about communication and collaboration with the different entities. So please, Gisele, take it over this nice and very interesting presentation that you have, and we are all here. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Giselle. Thanks, everybody. See you later in the Q&A or in the networking.
Grazie Gabriele, ciao a tutti. Sorry for my limited Italian, so I will speak in English for not making too many mistakes. It's a pleasure to be here on this community. I think I really admire the work we've been doing on building this community in Modena and raising the knowledge on machine learning, artificial intelligence, and all the other digital tools that we have to modernize or enhance our analytical skills in the companies we work. So, but today I want to bring you a bit of a different view. I'm not a data engineer, I'm not a data scientist, I'm a marketeer. And I want to talk a little bit about marketing and how we can implement all these tools into marketing. And I will share a little bit of my challenge. I was telling the guys after this meeting, we need to catch up because it's quite challenging. I can't say, Gabriele, that I'm already applying those technologies and digital tools in today's work. So I'm here to also share, listen from you. So please place your question, comments on how we can bring that together, because for applying digital analysis and all the tools that we have into marketing is quite a challenging task, especially when we work in a B2B company as Tetra Pak. So what is that about? So for you to understand the challenge, I need to explain a little bit how marketing works. So it's about the channels, the areas where we use the medias that we use to promote our products and our services and solutions. Then we talk about performance. So how this promotion is performing, what are the results that we are collecting from the investments we do. And of course, all the data source that we can utilize to analyze this kind of performance. So it's a bit a different animal from like production that you have, the performance of a product, a machine, a technology. So it's a bit more complex. And that's what I want to share with you, my learning and the challenge we have. So, but first, let's start asking for me to understand the community that I'm speaking here today. So, how many of you have already worked with marketing analytics? Any kind of analytics can be from a media, from a channel, from a product pricing, or maybe with the digital tools like online publicity. So how many of you have already worked on this area? So let me see the answers and get to know a little bit more about you guys. So Gabriele, let me know when we have some answers. Okay, we are almost 40% yes and 60% no. So not so many people work with marketing, which is what I expected, which requires a little bit more explanation about what is marketing and how we work on the marketing tools. Okay, so let's proceed. So I see that most of my audience has never worked in marketing. So let me explain a little bit more about what I mean about traditional marketing. Marketing is about selling a product. So it's about marketing a product, an idea, a solution. It's how we promote and how we attract people to get interested in the products that we want to sell. So when you see in this circle, what I'm saying is that we want to sell a product, getting an example of a point of purchase. So POP means point of purchase, where you buy the products traditionally, not online, but in a shop, in a retailer, in any place that you go. So what makes us marketing? What are the tools that we utilize? Normally, we use syndicated data. What is that? Is a data that is provided by external suppliers, normally companies that are chasing what are the products sold in a supermarket. So they collect all this information, they go there, they take notes, they take pictures, they take the receipts to see what has been sold, and they consolidate that into a big syndicated data. Then we start planning and understand where this product is being sold, what are the consumers interested, social class, gender, geography. And with that, we do a kind of a strategy to promote, again, that product. And when I talk about BTL, ATL is like below the line, above the line. So it's about below the line is when you do a promotion in the supermarket. And many of you, I know that you've been in a shop that people is giving you products to taste. Like it's very nice when you have nice biscuits and chocolates to taste while you're doing shopping. So that's what we call below the line. Above the line is the media that you can see everybody, a lot of people can have access, such as television, outdoor, radio, and etc. So that's what is the traditional marketing. And when we start talking about all the digital ecosystem, do you think that traditional market will die or is dead? No, it's already there. Everything that all the time you open your TV, even if you take your TV on, Sky or any of these channels, you get to see an advertisement. This is above the line. When you go to supermarket until today, you see a lot of promotion coupons and tastings. This is below the line. So traditional marketing is pretty much there. And it's most of the data sources that we utilize are these syndicated data to do our decisions and to plan the marketing strategies. So, as I mentioned, the focus today of traditional marketing is TV, retailers, so the above the line, the below the line. And the data that we collect really depends on external agencies. So when we talk about advanced analytics, it's all about the data we collect. But when the data is not with us, we cannot take the data from internet. We cannot take the data from a website. We need to buy the data from a supplier. That makes much more complex how we use this data and how we do the analysis about this data. And another thing that also in the traditional marketing, the return over investment, what we call ROI, depends pretty much on this data analysis. For example, the key measures that we utilize in traditional marketing to say that this campaign or a product is being successful is like market share. What's the size of the pie or the space that our product is occupying in that specific channel? Another one is penetration. So how many channels we manage to reach with our product, and distribution. So how many products we are selling by each channel that we have achieved. So these are the success factors that we normally use in the traditional marketing. Another one is the TV reach. So how many people watched the TV campaign we placed on that specific channel? And then the TVs have to send us a report saying, this TV was X number of TVs were connected in the channel when we put the advertising on. So looks like something in the old age, but that's how we collect the information. And then last but not least, about below the line, when we go to the shoppings and the retailer shops, how many people and how many products we sold by making them trying the product and tasting in the specific shop, which is very, very small and normally a lot of work, a lot of investment, and a lot of difficult interaction with the supermarket, and also very expensive. All these medias and all these channels that traditional market use, it's very, very expensive. So one question that I want to place now to make you interact: how much you believe that FMCGs, which is food manufacturers, the key companies selling food and products on retailers, they will start selling in an online platform by 2025. So how many of these products, what's the percentage that will be sold online in the next 4 years? So what do you believe is the answer? Let's see the results. People are saying 25%. 2. Everybody, let's vote. 3, 25%. 1, 10. 4, 25%. So, well, we believe that online sales, by this poll, we can see that we believe that will be a massive success. And most of FMCGs will start moving with all this context of expensive media, difficult to monitor. It's much easier to go online, right? Wrong. In fact, only 10% of sales is estimated to move to online in 2025. Most of sales will continue to be done at stores. So what does that mean? It means that traditional marketing is still important and will continue to be a main channel. So how can we do this transformation? How we can push this big elephant of 90% of total FMCG sales into a modernized online digital channel? And how can we apply advanced analytics when we have data coming basically from institutes and research all in different formats, right? So that's the big challenge that I want to share with you. And talking a little bit more about online and all the digital marketing, it is a complete different ecosystem. We have the data analytics and basically what the cycle that we have, the channels that we use are much more interactive. We collect the data from these channels, we can plan, we can make a promotion, change the promotion and sell again in the same channel much faster. And another thing, the cycle on the modern is all about trying, learn, change, and getting results, and trying again and change and trying again. So we have a much higher speed on what we can publish, what we can promote. And why? Because the speed is so fast? Because we see the results immediately. We can see the impact immediately on the data that we collect from all the digital channels that we can achieve. So definitely, I think the new way of selling products will more and more start leaving behind the traditional channels. And we see already many channels struggling, like TV, radio, they are struggling to get advertisement because, people and companies, they prefer to go online. But the problem is that they are not selling their products online yet. 90% is still sold in a traditional shop. So that is being a big block and barrier for moving marketing to a new era of digital marketing and make it much more effective results into companies. So another big challenge, and then moving a little bit from the channels to inside the company, like myself working in marketing in a company, especially a B2B company, is that we don't have access to all these digital data. Even some data that we see, we know that exists, is still not accessible for the marketeers. Why? Because most of this data that is internally generated is related to production, to sales, to financials. But the external, the results of sales online, or the results of supermarket sales, or even worse, when as a B2B company, the geographies and all the dynamics of sales, it doesn't come as a click. So we need to buy, again, data and information to see what's happening out there. And that's where I say we need IT. We cannot use and start applying modernized marketing with the same tools that we have. And what are those tools? Like we have some interesting tools out there, like CRM tools, Salesforce, Power BIs, but most of them, especially CRM and Salesforce, they are not connected to marketing. They are not open for us to get the database and do further analysis about what's happening in the interaction with customers. Another thing that we need is access to information in an easy way, in an efficient way. Like many companies are suffering that information is everywhere and nowhere. Like all the marketing information sits on computers, on people's computer, sits on some repository file, or even at Teams. We did a recent research that most of people is saving their data and information at Teams. And it's creating a big confusion, because how can you find a file where you save it on Teams? First, you need to remember what Teams did you save that file, right? So we need to start investing, and we need the support of IT to identify tools, programs, platforms that will help the life of marketeers and any other department in the company to organize the data, to create a data catalog, to create easy access to information, to make us place the self-usage of information when we have a business question. You don't need to call someone to ask the information for you. And that's how we are living today. Still, we call a lot of people asking, can you give me or let me know where I can find this information, right? And here there is an example. I think it's a bit complex, this slide, but just for you to know, a big company like Nielsen is one of the key companies to sell syndicated data. So those companies that are collecting all the sales in a supermarket, and they're starting now to collect also on online platforms such as Amazon, right? But they are struggling. They are not there. Like, they are investing a lot in the last few years on new platforms, on new collaboration with other companies, even merging with companies that sells technology. So recently they even announced a new strategy to start working on behalf of their customer needs. I am a customer of Nielsen. We've been asking Nielsen for many years to harmonize all global data into one platform. Can you believe that they do not have how to merge two countries into one data sheet? Because the taxonomy is completely different and they never spend or invest time on it. So we had to start doing that with an external supplier. We buy Nielsen in most of the countries that we operate. So we had to start asking an external supplier to harmonize and put in the same taxonomy and catalog all the information we receive from Nielsen. So now, from now on, every time we receive a deck of information, that goes directly to the areas and the information in the same taxonomy that we have created. But we had to invest a lot of money to have such a thing, where this global company, which is an expert on syndicated data, didn't manage to offer us a solution. So another thing that they are struggling to find is connected TV. Most of us now, we have the connected TV on the Wi-Fi, so we can surf around different channels and we can even address different opportunities or buy products or search Google things on the TV. And by now, no companies like Nielsen, they didn't manage to collect the data coming from connected TV, which is a big channel, is a new channel coming up. Also, omni-channel, it goes beyond the purchase. So it's not only the point of purchase, as I mentioned, the POP, the simple little shop. It goes much beyond. And the Nielsen, they need to start asking and collecting information on those channels. But they are still not there. They didn't manage to do enough agreements to track all online sales. So, and on and on. So Nielsen is still trying to find solutions to be able to attend us as a customer with the new data providers, the new channels that can help us to identify the strategies to sell better our problems or products in this omni-channel. So, moving on, I think just I want to illustrate a little bit of what is the situation of a marketeer nowadays. So we see this beautiful world of online sales, all this Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams and Alibaba and Amazons, everything, a lot of technology. And I'm sure all of us are very connected. At least I have Amazon almost knocking my door every day here. But for food and beverage, it's still not there. It's still just at the big point, the small point of the iceberg. And what happened, all this perception, all this dynamic happening in this outside world with electronics, with the, personal care, put all of us to be pressed and to, develop a new strategy in the company. So like my leaders, they come to me and say, Gisele, you need to do a magic and just bring advanced analytics to marketing. So I said, okay, that sounds very easy and fun, but how can we connect all these dots? And then we said, okay, for researching, we still use a lot of traditional platforms, as I mentioned, the syndicated data, also listening consumers, going outside and trying to bring information to inside. But then they said, no, you need to use advanced analytics to research, meaning we need to connect to these digital channels. But it's still not possible because we don't have these connections built internally. And then we start saying, okay, that's a cool word. Let's talk advanced analytics on everything we do. But is that really, we are really doing advanced analytics in marketing? How? Maybe yes, maybe not. So how can we apply advanced analytics and connect all this cool words that is happening out there with marketing decision? So that's why I want to focus now on advanced analytics and this big word and say, what does that mean in the marketing environment? So forget about everything you know about industry, about manufacturing, about engineering. Let's talk marketing. And I hope you manage to capture a little bit of what we do. So moving on, the first thing is about understanding what does that mean. What is advanced analytics? It's about extracting data. So I get this data, this piece of data, which today I said we get from external suppliers because we don't have data coming from digital channels. And then we do some analysis. We try to organize this data in a way that we can utilize and do some good analysis, not only the team, but also the whole marketing team. They can look at the data and the data will mean something. We give them some insights. And that's our area, that's our function. Another thing, data analytics is across many disciplines. So you need to be very knowledgeable about mathematics, statistics, and we start doing some forecasting. We start trying to predict what this data, the past data, the historical data is telling us in order to say that's what could happen in the future. We have to predict, for example, that was a big challenge during COVID. Imagine us last year in March when we received this big pandemic. We said, whoa, what's going to happen to consumption? And we start trying to see historical, but historically we never had such a similar thing. So how can we predict what's going to happen? We went all the way back to 2009 with the last economic crisis to see what has happened in consumption on that time and applied into this year. And guess what? We didn't manage to get. It was completely different. We came with a very pessimist scenario and say, oh, economic will affect consumption. But for milk, everybody stayed at home and they start drinking milk and cooking. And the sales increased dramatically. So we didn't manage to get the results right. But anyway, we tried to apply advanced analytics, doing scenarios and using a predictive analysis that didn't work. Anyway, so another output of the advanced analytics is the visualization, the data visualization, the reports, the Power BIs, and we are very keen on using Power BI to everything. So we are consolidating a lot of quantitative data, even qualitative from research. We start organizing some dashboards and putting all the old research we never find into a platform. And I know Giuliano is here in this session, so he's one of the great masters helping us to put all this research information into a consolidating platform. So we are trying to create this catalog of consumer research that will build a very interesting platform for the future decision. And of course, we have the data science. So when you have this historical data, data science is helping us to create a model that will help us to predict. We always talked about unconstrained models, constrained models. The constrained models is where marketeers are very good on helping and supporting, especially the business analysts, because we know all the constraints, everything that may happen when we create this such a kind of modeling. The point is how we connect, how we can put is statistically in this kind of model to say, okay, if the price goes down, that will impact the sales up. We know that because we learned in the past, and that's what we can visualize for the future. And lastly, I think that I love this definition from Gartner. They say that solutions used to build analysis model and simulations to create scenarios. So understanding realities and predicting the future state. So that's how we should work together as one team with the support of the experts on data, decision science, data science, and also the data engineers to help us to organize this data and come up with very interesting analysis and most important insights to the business, right? So, but to get there, what do we need? It sounds simple and exciting. So we are in this role now, me and my team in Business Insights at Tetra Pak. We are trying to build all these data assets and all these catalogs and trying to identify opportunities to use analytics more and more. So, but we have these two words. Today, we are much more on this left side of outside-in data. As I mentioned, we are buying data from Nielsen, we are buying data from consumer research, we are buying data from this traditional marketing. And this data, the cycle of this data sometimes reach even 3 months to get it. Is it too much? Yes, it is. Like a normal time of a campaign is 3 months. So every time we talk is an average, of course. We can have shorter campaigns or big campaigns. But when you do a campaign, you get 3 months to start seeing some result. But when you go to the other side, the digital marketing, the online marketing, is like daily. You can see daily what's happening with your dashboard of KPIs, and you can do immediate change to improve your results. So that's what we don't have in traditional marketing. And the questions we have to ask is, when we do marketing overall, where can I sell better my product? So traditional marketing will give me an answer maybe 3 months after I do a mistake. In the online, you can see that maybe some of the channels you choose is not going well. So you just change it and move to another one. Who is my target consumer? So that's another thing. Traditional marketing, you need to go to real consumers. You need to ask them if they like the product. You need to identify them through this kind of research. Different from the digital, much faster. You can access and see exactly on time who is buying your product on time. What kind of competitors do I have? Another important question like that we do in marketing every day. Who are my competitors? So honestly, I don't know how we can take from online the competition side, because we never start doing such a thing. But from the outside in the traditional market, we need to go to the supermarket, look at the shelf and see who are competing in price, shape, and sales. So which is, again, a very long and intensive kind of research. And finally, how can I attract more consumers? So again, the kind of response that the data gives us will impact a lot on the effectiveness of the campaigns we do. So looking a little bit a more complex picture, I want to describe what we've been doing today. Today, we have this focus on outside information. That's how marketing at Tetra Pak is focusing more. So we look at consumers, channels, customers, competition, and the product categories that we play, such as white milk, juice and nectars, and etc. So that's what we call the 5 C's. Everything starts from analyzing the 5 C's. So, and again, the information for these 5 C's is much more based on syndicated data that we have an updated version after 2 months, the end of a month. So when you want first quarter, you're going to get the first quarter result in June, July. So that's the timing that we get the data. And normally we do 1 year analysis on category because we don't have more than that. So it's quite a long time. We also do a lot of consumer research, qualitative consumer research. We analyze value chain, macro trends, economics, GDPs, unemployment, and a lot of kind of data like that. We try to look at the industry signals, trying to capture if there is any movement that will give us some futuristic view about what's happening in the world. And then, of course, competition, whatever is public and legally available, articles, websites. We see what's happening with our competitors, and we can collect from Nielsen also who are the packaging competitors being sold. Then that's our world today. That's where we are. And the challenge is how to move to the next one, which we know that there is a lot of tools, digital tools, and data that is generated daily, but still we have no connection with any kind of data set internally in our company like that. Then we have like these new tools, CRM and Salesforce that I mentioned before, which is also not available, and even marketing is not a priority on the project. Then we have data strategy. I really would like to know, what is the data strategy? How should we use data in the company, and what kind of analysis should be done? So it's still not in place. So it's a big thing that should be done by the whole organization. And normally when you have that, it does start by the production side and the sales and finance. Then, last but not least, what are the KPIs? As I mentioned before, the main KPI for marketing nowadays is market share. So how many packets we sell compared to our competitors? And for doing that, we have the syndicate data, which is good enough. So market share not in place in a digital platform, not even starting to think how to collect that. So what we've been doing to start touching the first steps towards the digital modern marketing is about working a lot on data visualization. So we work a lot with Power BIs, a lot of dashboards, as much as information we can consolidate, work the information, do some analysis, and help marketeers to utilize that on their daily basis and facilitate their lives. We also want to provide this easy access to information. So we have some repository tools that gives a very good structure for people to find files, studies, research, but we are willing to move even more to a more automated platform, considering artificial intelligence and machine learning, where we can place all the files in that specific platform, and then people around the company can place a business question, and that question will be answered across all documents with a specific point of information that they need to see. So that will speed up a lot business decisions in our organization. So this is ongoing. It's still not in place, but will be in place by 2022. Then most of the data that we already have available is qualitative. So we are starting to organize this, trying to connect some data points and organize this, as I mentioned, utilizing first the Power BIs. And of course, advanced analytics already utilized for forecasting, building scenarios, and we are using the support of external agencies because not everything is available in terms of tools that has to be utilized for such kind of exercise. Okay, so the issue is really to connect the dots. We see a lot of opportunities, a lot of data points in the organization, but it still is into silos. Like we have data that belongs to a different different team. Like an example is sales information. We have, for example, install base filling machines utilization that could give us a good information about the future of consumption of packets, right? So we have all this information that is across a lot of areas in the organization. That's what this slide is showing. So we have payments, we have the marketplace, we have the codes, we have the emails, we have all the conversation happening in Salesforce, we have all the quality issues and et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera, which is totally in different pockets. So our main challenge is really to apply this classical market, advanced analytics, but the data readiness and the access to data is still not ideal. And also we need to connect the dot to change the way of working. So today I'm responsible for marketing business analytics, and we have other teams in business insights, in financial, in sales, in technical, in different areas of the organization. And we are not connected. So maybe it's a new way. I don't want to lose my job, but the company should think about how to connect all this intelligence in the company, in this expertise, in order to bring very interesting information and focus on key KPIs and not trying to do all types of analysis, taking us to, all different directions. So, just to start finalizing here, I want to now put the challenge back to you. So giving it back to you, I want to ask some funny questions about how could we how could you help me? What do you think it could help me in the future with this challenge? So that's you can see in the pool. What can business analysts do, our team specifically, to show that we are using advanced analytics in all these company contexts. So what do you think we could do? There is this kind of questions here. So I really would like to see your opinion. So let me see what you guys are answering. Sit and cry, okay? People is telling me to sit and cry, that's all. Take the lead, identify the business opportunities and tools on suing advanced analytics. Yes, I'm trying to take the lead. Sometimes I get a bit tired. Cope with data scientists to tell them what to do and push IT together. Yes, to invest into new tools. That's nice. Yeah. Yeah, I think the collaboration with data science is getting more points here today. So thank you, guys. So that's why we need to talk after this session, especially the ones working at Tetra Pak.
Hi. I think we have some connection problem with A or me.
Yeah, we have probably some issues with Gisele. Yeah. And
yeah, I don't know if it is just Gisele or it's the.
Or it's
I
the
don't know if
platform.
anybody can hear from the people connected.
Yeah, let us know if you.
Okay, fantastic. And Davide
Okay.
is, I think.
Thanks, David.
Maybe it's Gisele then, unfortunately.
And okay, we have Sara as well on stage. Ciao, Sara.
Ciao, everyone. I was just to check if I was still connected, actually, because I could hear your voice but couldn't see you for some reason.
Yeah, okay.
Allora. Let me write to Gisele.
But from the polls, it seems the data scientist team has some job to do in the meantime.
That's true.
Let's see. Okay. Yes, indeed.
Okay, now Gisele is disappeared.
Sì,
okay. Here she is. Maybe she's getting back. She's rejoining maybe the call.
Mm-hmm. You know, that is always the beauty of digital events.
Yes.
If you are in the real life, it's hard to get disconnected.
And it's cool that we usually don't have these issues, but we have these issues today. That is probably because we did this just after the beginning of summer, maybe.
Yeah.
This is a sign.
I think it's a message. Someone is sending a message.
Yes.
No, but I don't understand why people should go outside and have some aperitivo when they can stay inside in front of the PC and look at
doesn't make sense.
No, I don't really understand that.
You have a window. I have two. So why going physically out? It doesn't make sense at all. We have air conditioning here. So.
Sì. That's
we have Mattia as well chatting something.
See. I know we can convert the conference into a cabaret session.
Yeah.
So,
well, if we don't have if Giselle cannot connect anymore, I think we can turn it into a networking session. Oh yeah, as Nicolò is saying, maybe Gabriele can entertain us somehow. I think we can take the opportunity to ask people here which topics, which sessions you want to see after summer, maybe. If you have some particular topics or formats you would like to attend, that can be a feedback for us, and we can work on this after summer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have any ideas, just write in the chat. If you want to join the session as well, if you want to say something, please let us know. We can invite you on stage. That's something really appreciated, I think. So if you want to join the stage, please just let us know, and we can invite you in a click, with a single click. It's very easy to do.
Yeah, just to propose something, there are very exciting conferences taking place right now. Maybe one idea could be to share some of the learnings from the lucky people that are attending.
Oh, that's true. Mattia probably can share something. I invited Mattia on stage right now. Let me check if he can join. Yeah. Okay, Giselle is back maybe. Oh, maybe Mattia and Giselle both are back at the same time.
Here I am.
Yes.
Yeah, Matti recovering from the metaverse.
Yeah.
Or maybe Matti went to rescue Giselle, and that's why
Yes.
they joined together at the same time. So congratulations. Oh, okay. Giselle.
Thank you, guys. I'm back. Sorry for that.
Yeah.
I have a fiber in my house. I don't know what happened, honestly. So maybe it was the superhero trying to save me.
Yes. Yeah, we were saying Mattia was trying to save you because you joined with Mattia exactly at the same time when we invited on stage Mattia.
Okay.
You popped up at some point, and that was. But anyway, okay, so we can disappear from the stage, I think, and we'll
Can
be
we
back
continue?
afterwards. Yes, of course, Giselle.
Okay.
See you
I was
later.
talking about this funny superhero that is always trying to, build this bridge, and that's how I feel today, because as I mentioned, we have this challenge to apply advanced analytics in the organization. And I keep saying to, our leaders that it's not only about marketing, and we depend, and we have to have many other things behind that I will show you in a second. So what business analysts can do? So I believe we can find interesting questions that requires advanced analytics, and that's how we've been working with our colleagues on decision science. We say, hey, we have a challenge. Can we work on that? And then they say, okay, what's the proof of value? I say, nothing. We just want to make something cool. And then it doesn't go so well, but sometimes we try to find the proof of value and the impact. So it's been a good exercise, I would say, to create muscles on the area of marketing. We also apply an extensive usage of the existing available tools, such as the Power BI. And we are working with hyper awareness. We call the board, the pilot board, that we want to bring information in one screen, creating dashboards to some important people in the company. And then, of course, we need IT to help us on this library system, helping to improve the way we find files, or we find information and data. I see the little picture down there is looking like us. We have data everywhere. So whenever someone places a business question, we need to try to remember, where did we store that data? So using artificial intelligence will help us not only to store properly, but also to find the right information, and to start this mechanism of working on information as an asset. And of course, improve productivity. Then we don't need to stop everything we do to find files or to build a PowerPoint, which is like, I hate doing PowerPoint. So that's the point I want to stop. So how we see this ecosystem, the digital ecosystem of creating advanced analytics, the cool word, the magic way is really collaborating with our colleagues. And here's just a picture of, we are the business insights analytics, the business analysts, and we have the data scientists and the data engineers. So we cannot only focus on projects with proof of value, because most of the analysis we do is basically to predict and to give a direction in marketing. As I mentioned, it's not to prove the return of an investment of what we do. Of course, we also have to do that once we have all the campaigns online, so we can start proving how much we invest and what gives us better result. But also we need to give some strategy, direction, trends. And that's the most difficult thing, to connect all these databases into one. So that's basically how I see the future. And what we've been doing is really to work integrated in some areas that we find opportunities, such as with the data strategy. We've been trying to organize all the data we have available, especially the one related to marketing. My ambition would be to also expand this, because many times we touch on other areas, such as the sales data and other financials that we do need to make some marketing investments and decisions. We also use, we would like to have these data coming from internal tools such as Easy Design, SAP. So all the systems that we already have, that we may have some interesting data, but it's not well prepared for being utilized from marketing. And of course, Salesforce. I think I dream about this too, when I can get into it and start seeing all the interaction happening with our customers and start using that to provide interesting insights. And of course, we need this engineering or preparation of the data, the pockets of, identify these pockets of good data, collaborate with my business analysts, and also bring this knowledge, the customer management process. And then that's where we can look and see how the efficient the marketing tools that we are applying is becoming by having this access to the customer management systems. And of course, the business analyst is all about helping the business, the areas, in our case, the marketing area, to identify the right KPIs, to monitor the right data, to check and create campaigns, so create more business knowledge about everything that is available and the actions we do. And of course, collaborate with other areas to identify new methodologies, new tools that can facilitate our work. And finally, helping and working with data science to have these more predictive analytics than just looking at historical, but giving more the company about the future and possibly preempt what are the reactions and the impact of what we do into the business. So that's how I see the role and how we can collaborate together with the data science team. And just to close my presentation before I open for some questions, I'd like to reinforce, like in my role, my actual role, business analyst, is to connect the data to decision. So I need the data. Of course, we can work with the data. We have a lot of knowledge and skills and capabilities in the team to really select the right data and work well with the data. But we need support on that in order to maximize the impact to the business decisions. So we are responsible for the business area of analytics in marketing. So we've been exploring all this digital ecosystem and trying to find nice pockets of data to evaluate performance and also link to our function, the role that we are setting today. We are part of the business process and we want to be even more. There are many processes that we identify that is not considering marketing or the data that we provide as part of the results. So to make an impact into organization, you need to be part of a process. And that's what we are identifying, multiple data sources and how we can connect to the process that the company have. For example, sales process, how they use marketing information to execute a sale to a customer. As we are not a B2C company, in a B2B it becomes much more complex. And we continue to invest on traditional data. For example, the Nielsen, the Kantar, the syndicated data, the consumer research, because this gives us a very, very good setting about trends and business impact. And finally, we want to create, that's my dream that I hope I will concrete next year, to create a do-yourself easy access data, because we cannot keep working, babysitting all the organization on answering business questions. And we want to make our company much more agile on taking decisions and having access to good data that will help them to take the right decisions and sell more. So we want to sell, and that's all the marketing goal. All marketeers need to push the company and help them to sell. Then I go back to my first slide when I said that's the role of marketing, sell a product into a specific channel. So for doing that, we need support, we need the right data, and we need, and my dog is here to confirm that we need to know where we are placing the investments properly to be effective in the investments we do. So that's all I had to share with you. I will stop sharing now, and I want to hear your questions. So Gabriele, are you there to help me? Thank you for the applause.
Yes,
Here we are.
Very kind of you guys.
Here we are.
Very good. Thank you very much, Gisele, for the presentation. I can say that from my side, it was very interesting and engaging.
Nice.
So I see that we have at least a couple of questions already in the Q&A section. So please, if you have any additional one, feel free to write in the tab Q&A. And we can start with the first one that is from ADL. So Gisele, I think that ADL is referring to Tetra Pak. So among our direct competitors, which is the company that is acknowledged to be making the best and more advanced use of advanced analytics for marketing?
So which is the company doing the best usage? That's a tricky question. I think the FMCG companies, they are very the benchmarks for us. We recently did a benchmark study about advanced analytics, and we took not only the FMCGs, like the key ones like Nestle's, Unilever's, and these kind of a global company, but also the pharmaceuticals. I think pharmaceutical companies, they are very keen on using advanced analytics and especially connecting to digital channels nowadays.
Okay, very interesting. And so let's take the second question. Maybe we can have some additional comment. This is from me, actually. So yeah, I was very curious about one of the movements that is ongoing in fast-moving consumer goods, but in general, with many products. Let's say it's about personalized product personalization. And how do you think that this trend would eventually change the way data can impact the marketing activities?
Yes, that's a big trend about personalization, especially on food and beverage. We see a big connection with nutrition and health. So especially it has been accelerated by the COVID. A lot of people looking at immunity boosting or looking at prevention. And we started very interesting projects in US and across the world about immunity boosting on high protein products. And one event that happened very interesting is that in China, the government said that they should drink more.
Now I'm curious what to drink. I don't know. I didn't get it. So No.
They stopped Gisele because she could tell it.
It stopped on the best moment.
No, unfortunately.
So
We will never know, probably.
You'll never know what to drink.
What would that be? Probably, I don't know, Marco. Do you have any idea?
Maybe it's a quiz. It's a survey, or we have to guess it. I think it was a beer. Nicola said. So.
It's possible.
Or milk, or maybe Antonio said milk.
That might be. But, I don't know. Maybe it's more realistic. Yes.
Okay. Gin tonic. Sarah said okay. That's another option. Red Bull. Mattia said Red Bull. Okay, let them go. Other ideas?
I don't know if that is. I have one.
Aqua.
That might be. I'm sure it's
Cristiano Ronaldo quote. Mattia said. Can be aqua, water.
Agua.
Blackberry juice, soya. Why drink? Why drink? Because Gisele was telling us what the government is required to drink. Well, I recommended in China. So we were Gisele, we are all curious, Gisele. What's the recommendation in China?
Yeah, so talking about personalization, like China is not a big consumption market for milk. Like it's starting to become very interesting. It started with babies. And after COVID or during COVID, the government in China announced that milk is good for prevention on the COVID, so for immunity. And that has created a massive problem globally because now Chinese is growing a lot consumption of milk and dairy products, milk-based products. And also the imports of milk has increased, elevating the price everywhere for milk powder or for milk liquid. So that's a very interesting thing. And they are now starting to customize a lot of different formulations of dairy-based products because it is very expensive for them. So they cannot sell just pure milk. It's all small portions, very customized for different needs. And that's why we call about the scale of personalization. So it's not that personalization we have in Europe that is very small production batches. It's very scalable. And that's very interesting. And another thing that is a little bit less scalable is about the nutritional apps and a lot of new startup companies. That's happening mostly in US, that they are doing different products in a small scale production, normally co-packing to another company, that they provide different formulations that can even be combined and can connect to applications that you can track your health and the impact. So I think for me, this is has a lot of potential applications connecting health, connecting medical doctors, so you can track your health and consume and know what you're consuming, right?
Wow. That is very interesting because you see that the data eventually, they are not only used for, suggesting the best product, but indeed they change the nature of the product itself eventually, because the new formulation and new personalized variants are created according to those data. So that is a next step that is very, very impressive. So
yeah. And the connected packaging, I think the QR code that we are now providing, connected packaging has a lot of opportunities, like in the future, maybe kitchen applications that today is still not connected to what you put in your fridge or the expiring date or providing recipes. And there is a lot of opportunities that we can make when we connect the products that we have in our household with our kitchen. So it's still not there, but it's starting to happen, some examples, and we see some signals of future with a high potential.
Wow. Okay. And let me ask you the last question, Gisele. That is very much connected also to what you just said. So having the data coming also from the households and from, the real people, that is of course, bringing about some questions about, privacy and so GDPR. So how to deal with that if users, are connected with their habits and you collect those data?
Yeah, that's why I said it is still not there. I think it's not in place because there is a lot of problems on the GDPR, and especially now with the cookies going. Like a lot of people is talking about the end of cookies, and I think we need to be. It will be a new way of dealing with marketing and information. And if we have these kind of restrictions, it will be more and more difficult to collect data from online platforms. Even if we use for, searching information and data, because today the syndicated data is collected through the store. The store basically share what they sell, and they use the statistics, like they cannot say who is buying the product, but where is being sold and how much they are selling. So the consumer, for you to understand the consumer, it requires totally different kind of research. And we need to combine this research with the syndicate data to have a statistical representation of consumers, but it's not directly collecting from consumers. So that's why transforming traditional marketing into online digital, it is quite a complex story, and I don't believe it will happen that fast. As if you see companies like Nielsen is still trying to find their role in this. And then, as I mentioned, the online channel in 25 will still be only 10% and even less in some product categories. So we still have a lot of room to investigate and explore in the traditional marketing or in the future of marketing overall.
Okay, thank you very much. We might have one last question, Gisele, if you are
Yes, go, I'm fine.
Okay, thank you very much then. So I will try to interpret a little bit this question, for it's very short but interesting. So we know that with the development of the technology, we can gather more and more data and also more kind of data. So if, as you just said, it was initially just the quantity and the type of product being sold in a specific retailer. Now it might be the time of consumption, the geolocation, or the fact that you are drinking something while you are doing something else. Okay, so with this question, we wonder what kind of new insights do you believe the next generation of consumer data, something that maybe is not even here today, but it will come, can unlock for marketing activities?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I don't think I even thought about it before. I was talking to my team that we need to start exploring the other generations. Like still I see a lot of comments on the millennials, on generation X, Z, but I think there is more letters in this alphabet that we need to understand how these consumers are buying. And I think also the impact of influencers. There is a huge impact of influencers, and the way of marketing, like TikToks and everything that we see happening, is a big revolution. So definitely these future consumers, they are not being impacted by traditional marketing, even the actual marketing we do online on the sales platforms. They will be impacted by other people, by their tribes, by the areas, the apps that they belong. And that's where we have to capture what is the big influence to make them to decide for a purchase, right? So I think cracking these new tools and preempting new platforms and understanding this influential word that is happening, and it's huge. It's huge. I see, because, I don't know how many of you have kids, but I have a teenager. She just buy everything that the influencer says. I don't even know that product exists. So it's completely a different platform. It's a different level that we still didn't crack. And I think that's what marketeers need to start understanding.
Yeah, and think
Wow.
about what Cristiano Ronaldo did a few days ago with
Oh, yeah, with
Coca-Cola,
the Coca-Cola.
and they lost something like 4 billions
Bank, 1.4
in 1
million.
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And so we have to probably do something about that.
Yeah, fake news, big influencers. I think this is the future of marketing. We need to identify these people. We need to connect to them. We need to make sure that our products are in the fashion on the spot. And this is changing quite fast. The spot is changing very fast. It's not about, like I mentioned, 3 months campaign or a year strategy. No, it's about every day having people behind the computer saying, hey, this is happening. Let's act very fast. And that's the speed we don't have in traditional marketing.
It's a great point.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bene,
Thanks,
Gisele.
Gisele.
Yeah, that was a really interesting presentation, I need to tell you. And I hope that everybody enjoyed. So I guess so from the intense, comments and session that we both received in chat, polls, and Q&A. And now we will end the session. And as usual, there is the networking session just after, so you can feel free to join a table and just discuss. I hope that Gisele would be so kind to stay with us some more time to have some free chats.
Yes.
And so, thank you very much. See you in a minute.
Just one reminder for all the other people, it's that we now take a break for summer, and we'll organize something new probably in September, and we have the call for sessions open. So propose your sessions, and we'll wait for your new sessions and talks, workshops, anything, and let us know what you think about the incoming topics you want to see at ML Modena. And I think, Gabriele, we can also thank everyone for staying with us for these first 6 months. Even if we founded the community in 2020, at the beginning of 2020, we actually started at the end, and we now have we now are 6 months old, I think. So thanks a lot for staying with us, and stay tuned for next sessions. Thanks, Gisele. We'll catch up in the networking.
Okay, thank you guys for the invitation.
Bye.
Grazie mille.
A dopo.
Grazie. A dopo.